Good evening, everyone. This is an episode of the Glimmercast, episode 18, and we will be talking Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. I'm joined with our lovely panel, ZodWriter, Black Ops, Hanz, and last but not least, special guest of the channel, Hbartz. How are y'all doing this evening?
Good.
I'm doing great, and Hbartz's little picture made my night.
Dude, I love it. I love
Yes,
it.
Lego Max Rebo is God.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I had to include Rebo on the thumbnail, so obviously we had to celebrate it for show. But yeah, no, I'm stoked that y'all wanted to chat about Fellowship. For me, it's my favorite of the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, and we can get the party started by jumping into the trailer. I know it's a late evening for folks, so I wouldn't expect too much of a show out, but this is definitely a fun conversation I wanted to have with y'all. So yeah, how's everyone feeling about just jumping right into the trailer?
Sounds great.
I'm ready.
Don't remember the trailer at all, so it's gonna feel like the first time.
I actually found a 15th anniversary trailer, so
Oh, really?
It is like almost 10 years old now, but yeah, we'll go ahead and watch that one. And just gonna make sure the quality is all the way up.
Has anyone even seen the trailer?
Is it fan made?
I don't think I have.
Is this
I think
fan
I've just seen
made?
the movies. It looks to be. I mean, what does it say? Is there any like?
It was uploaded by someone independently. Oh wait, edited by someone. Okay. Yeah, no, maybe I should find official trailer. Give me one second.
I mean, but I'm sitting here thinking about it. I don't think I've seen any trailer. I mean, the only trailers I think I've seen are the more recent ones, like the first Hobbit trailer, and then of course the rest of the Hobbit trailers. But I don't think I've seen any Lord of the Rings trailers. 'Cause I think I just jumped right into these movies, and then got addicted to these. And then when the Hobbit came out, I was like, "Oh, I'm ready."
Yes, yeah, exactly. The Hobbit was like a entry point for me as well. Okay, cool. I found a 4K version of the trailer. Make sure that resolution's all the way up. Alrighty, and volume. Let's go.
The world is changed, and some things that should not have been forgotten were lost. But the Ring of Power has a will of its own.
Evil is stirring in Mordor. The ring has awoken. Sauron needs only this ring to cover all the lands of darkness. What must I do?
The ring must be destroyed.
Cast back into the fires of Mount Doom.
I know what hunts you. They're coming.
They will find the ring and kill the one who carries it.
You have my sword, my bow,
And my axe.
You carry the fate of us all, little one.
This task was appointed to you, and if you do not find a way, no one will.
Let us hope that our presence may go unnoticed. They are coming.
We must turn back!
Oh, I was sniped again. Yeah, I knew it. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, people. It was worth it though. So now we have context.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things she says there contradict. Like she says, right there, I think she said, oh my God, I already forgot, Jesus. But she says she'll be a great queen, but terrible as well. Where it's basically saying people will say she's great, say she's good because of how terrifying she is.
They kind of do something with that, but with Celebrimbor in the Shadow of War game.
Yeah.
Because he gets corrupted will by his own power of his ring.
Yeah, so I guess that's some context that we may get in the Rings of Power movie, more about maybe Galadriel feels like her deeper desire to be like this grandmaster, like all powerful queen figure over the world is kind of like repressed for like the greater good she has to serve for, you know, her people.
Yeah,
Is that
because
fair?
in that scene, that in that scene where Frodo offers her the ring, at the end she says, "I passed the test," and Frodo's offering her the ring. She could have just taken it, and she ended up choosing not to.
Yeah, totally. Hbartz, did you want to like add anything onto that before we jump to another scene?
No, nothing.
You're usually typing up essays in the chat. Oh my gosh, I just wanted to make sure we give you space to you know, chat about whatever you wanted when we're talking.
I think they could have used some Max Rebo in Lord of the Rings.
Agreed.
Yes, yeah, I
He
agree.
would have made everything so much better. I think Max Rebo actually could have the power to control the ring and do good with the ring.
Oh yeah,
No one
Lord,
does.
Lord
Not
of the
even
Rebo.
Max Rebo.
How dare you?
Well,
How dare
actually,
you? That's slander.
I think the only person who could control the ring was probably Morgoth, but he wouldn't need it anyways.
Probably.
It's like all the characters know and are aware that the ring is essentially pure evil, but yet they're all still drawn to it. They all want it in some way, desire it. It's almost as though it's sort of an allegory for wanting something that you know is bad, but is going to be good for you in the short term.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like I kind of got more vibes around like I don't know if you all know like roughly the story of what is it? Basically like this sort of like Lucifer fallen angel type of vibe where like the following like the path of good, I guess, like or the greater good versus like your own ambitions. And like yeah, the point that I was trying to make with Galadriel, like she in Rings of Power, we may see that she's like, you know, very like, you know, personally driven by her own ambitions, but those have to come secondary to, you know, her role and as a leader. So I'm wondering if like maybe like the ring is compelling a lot of people to have those selfish thoughts that they kind of put in the back of their mind, like now they're confronted with them, like because they're so easily available with like the ring being right in front of their face. So maybe that also has something to do with that compulsion too. That's like my
It forces them. It essentially forces them to confront the darkness within themselves, which is why they're able to ultimately reject the allure of the ring.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people with more, I guess, like I don't know if it's like a better like moral like grasp of like their own, or if it's like their own personal like desire to reject it. So I don't know if like they're more compelled to care about others than they are like their own needs, or if like that is just a testament to their willpower. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I like to think about it that way.
Well,
Go
I think
ahead.
Now that is a good question because like Boromir, for example, I wouldn't consider Boromir a bad person by any means. He's a great character, a great person. He wants what's best for his people, but even he got corrupted.
Yeah, no, like I think when it comes to like people who are like in really dire straits or really like frustrated and grasping at straws for like a solution or like some sort of like way to turn the tide in a situation, I think that's when that desperation takes hold of their greater judgment. At least like for like Boromir, for instance. Oh, Hbartz, were you going to say something as well?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like the ring deceives people into like promising them like power and stuff like that, but it's just trying to get back. So it'll give them what they want for like a while, but then it's always going to betray them in the end, just so it can get back to Sauron.
That's a good point. I didn't even like think of that. I'm just thinking like, oh, if someone like powerful like Galadriel or Gandalf were to get a hold of the ring, they would be a destructive force. But I didn't think that it would lead to their own demise. So that's a good point. But yeah, no. Let's see. I won't risk playing another clip, but we can like get into like Sauron's corruption. So yeah, like if we were to, you know, kind of like just kind of like get into some details around like what exactly drove this benevolent, you know, being who was sent to Earth to, you know, be an ally to the living folks in Middle Earth, all of a sudden turn. So if y'all have additional context that the movie didn't give us, I'd love to hear it.
Well, Sauron's original name I think was Mehron, wasn't it, Hans?
You're better with the names than I am.
Yeah, I think it was Mehron, but he was never under Morgoth's orders like originally. He worked with another Valor, and then over time, Morgoth started to corrupt him and joined with him, and then eventually he changed his name to Sauron. So he wasn't always bad.
Oh, so Sauron is his corrupted name, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So like, what was it about? What were his own personal ambitions like? Because I don't know if they're really like explained a whole lot in Fellowship, even in the extended edition, at least like from what I can remember. As far as like what he was looking to achieve, like was he just looking to survive the impending takeover of Sauron? I keep confusing Saruman and Sauron. I think that's why I was confused. I apologize. You're talking about Sauron. I thought you were talking about Saruman. So I'm specifically talking about Saruman and how he
Saruman.
was. Yeah, I apologize for that.
They
So
are
that
both
was my
Meyer.
Okay, so going back to my question, Saruman's corruption, how did that happen? Because I feel like the movie didn't 100% explain it all the way through.
He wanted the ring for himself, and he was trying to play Sauron.
He was trying to trick him?
Yes.
Okay.
He wanted the ring for himself to keep for himself, not to give back to Sauron. He was.
I really wish we could see that play out, because we all know it would end badly for Saruman.
He was
It
using
definitely would.
Sauron as a means to an end.
And Saruman should already know that the ring is going to betray him anyway.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like, wouldn't he know that that's not a possibility? Like,
he tried to use magic to.
He probably thinks he was strong enough to avoid that from happening.
Well, they are both Maya.
Exactly.
They're called?
Yeah.
It's almost like an arrogance. Like, yeah, you know, I'm strong enough. I'm gonna be the one to conquer the ring and keep it for myself. But it's a part of Sauron. So it's always gonna go back to him no matter what, because it's literally a part of him.
Hbartz, you're about to make a good point though.
Oh, I was just saying, like, him being a Maya as well, he probably could maybe get it to work for him, since they have like the same level of powers.
And it's Sauron, and the ring is basically Sauron in a weakened state.
Yeah.
Are there tiers of powers amongst the Maiar? Like,
they're all the same level usually.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them might be like proficient in some things specific, but
like Gandalf is way stronger than what we see.
Mm-hmm.
So because we know that the wizards have, like, you know, their powers stifled or whatever, held back while they're on Earth. I don't know if Sauron was impacted by that as well. Like, so him being a Maiar, do you think that would impact like the power of the ring, like overcoming him? So I'm trying to like rationalize like why wasn't more foresight into like Saruman's limitations on Middle Earth taken into account when he knows that he's not at full strength to you know, try and fight the influence of Sauron. Does that make sense? I'm like wondering like how how does Sauron not realize that he's like not at full power?
I think with the ring, they'd be able to possibly unlock that, because Sauron and Morgoth were both at full power. Sauron was doing a lot of like he would shapeshift, he'd trick people, he was doing a lot before the whole ring was made.
Yeah, like when we watch, like when the TV show comes out, we'll probably see Sauron in his like elf form called Anatar, a lot, and they'll probably try to make a swerve at the end, like, oh, it was him the whole time.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm guessing the ring would unlock Saruman's power. That's my guess. There's really nothing telling us that's right or wrong, but I assume that's what would happen.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you for adding that extra context for me. Sorry if I'm asking like really confusing or redundant questions. I'm just like trying to like wrap my brain around some of the things that were a little confusing for me. But yeah, let's see. When they're in Rivendell and they're making their plan to go to Mordor to destroy the ring. I was curious what y'all thought about the kind of like the council of like races all coming together to achieve this goal, and if like the what am I trying to say? Yeah, let's like kind of talk about that scene a little bit. But yeah, thoughts around it. Sorry, I'm like drawing a blank. I'm a shitty host.
No, that was a great scene.
The United Nations of Middle Earth.
Yes. Yeah. Totally. Cool. Yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to think because I can't play any more clips. What are some callouts? Yeah, go ahead, Hans. You talk now.
I was gonna say no. The significance of that scene really was all the races got together for the council to talk about Sauron for the first time in thousands of years. It's kind of like a crazy thing. None of them probably thought would ever happen.
Any other like noteworthy scenes y'all want to kind of like dissect and talk about, especially like if there were like some creative liberties taken that maybe like
The Balrog scene.
Let's get into it. Like, what are your thoughts around it?
In that scene is probably the only time we get a glimpse of the Valar from Gandalf, from his speech he says there to the Balrog, who is also a Maya, just like Sauron and Saruman and Gandalf. One thing that they got creative with is how it looks. It's never they're never Hbartz, I could be wrong, but they're never fully described as being giant. They're described as fiery beings like it is.
Yeah.
But they never explain if there's nothing written about the size. So them
we don't know if they're regular height or not.
Yeah. So I thought it was a great idea to make it the way they did. It was perfect. A giant demon, So that's a really cool scene.
Yeah, and
for
the reason
a lot
why
of reasons.
and the reason why Gandalf decided to go after the Balrog and kill it is because it had no part to play in the future of Middle Earth, because it was supposed to die during the First Age.
Mm-hmm. He did not want that getting out.
That was another servant of Morgoth, but who did not agree with Sauron, so went on its own.
Oh, you're talking about the Balrog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Its name is Durin's Bane.
Durin's Bane. Yeah.
The last of the Balrogs.
Durin's Day. Haha. By making fun of his name. He would just roar. That's it.
Oh, and the Door of Moria. Pretty sure Celebrimbor helped make that.
He did.
When you share names, would you be okay with sharing like the significance of this person?
Celebrimbor forged the Rings of Power.
Gotcha.
Wasn't Caliber? Yeah, wasn't. I haven't played the Middle Earth games, but is that the person you? That's the main character.
Yes.
Well?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I'm like, I just
remember that game's fanfic, but a great game.
It fits the lore pretty well, though.
It does. It follows it. It respects it.
They said that the games are canon to the films, though, specifically.
The films are also fanfics.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, let's see. Other like noteworthy scenes, maybe like some creative liberties taken or some improvements y'all have noticed in the movie.
No Bombadil.
True.
No Bombadil.
Which
But
I'm glad he's not there.
Is it an automatic 0 out of 10 because of no Bombadil, or
he
It's
would
a
have just
proud 10.
confused the normies. One thing, they put Boromir's death in the Fellowship of the Ring movie. Boromir's death happens at the beginning of the Two Towers. But I think moving that was perfect for a movie.
Yeah.
for sure?
Yeah, they had to do that, but Sean Bean doesn't live in anything.
That's what I was about to say. I was gonna make a joke, but I was gonna say like the only reason why Boromir, got so corrupted and all that and died at the end is because Sean Bean.
Peter Jackson knew Sean Bean was going to be there to adapt it for him.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I think he actually did. He played the character well for the amount of time he was on screen.
Cinematic convenience.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's he plays Zeus in the Percy Jackson one movie. I mean, yeah, he's still alive in that, but obviously he wasn't in the second movie. So I mean, poor Sean Bean. But yeah, I really do. I have more issues with the Hobbit trilogy than the Lord of the Rings trilogy in terms of continuity, I guess. So I definitely prefer these more, even though I really do love the Hobbit movies and Fellowship of the Ring. I think it's a really solid movie, and I really enjoyed it. And all the things that the way they portray things, I think they couldn't have done better.
Yeah,
So when's the watch party?
Yeah.
Who knows? These late night streams catch me at my worst brain operating times, as you can tell. But
I'm the same way.
Yeah. I think we should follow up this chat with another conversation about the movie, or into Two Towers for sure. Because I wanted to try and focus it on one movie at a time, just so it's not as daunting to try and cover everything. But
yeah, I would go a 4-hour stream. But yeah, I think covering movie by movie and just that works perfectly. Because I mean, we're talking about this movie and it's already an hour. And
yes, yeah,
Arwen plays a much bigger role in the movie.
Yes, yeah, Hans. I asked you about that, where Arwen actually rides off with Frodo to Rivendell, and that's actually changed from an event in the book, right?
Yeah, she's not there, but there is a line she says to Aragorn where she says, "There's 5." I think she says "There's 5 wraiths following you. Where the other 4 are, I do not know." That's actually when Gandalf escapes Isengard, and he's riding on horseback to Rivendell. The other 4 ring wraiths are chasing him. But in the movie, I think all 9 end up showing up. But I think that's just for dramatic effect.
Oh right, Arwen summons the water horses and just totally takes them
showing
all out.
some elven magic.
Yeah. But it wasn't even really her magic, right? I think you told me that was actually Elrond, right? Or no?
I think it's his magic, but she's his daughter. I'm not really 100% sure how elven magic works. No, maybe Hbartz knows that. I'm pretty sure it explains parts of it, but there's a lot of info.
I think they kind of touch upon it in the original books, not the stuff beyond the books. I'm talking about the Lord of the Rings books, but there's other books that cover and explain more of the world. But I think in the Lord of the Rings book, I think they touch upon it, but they don't really explain it, and it just leaves everyone with questions.
Yeah,
but I honestly can't remember because I read that in middle school, and I think the last time I read it or started reading it was 5 years ago.
The thing about Tolkien's writings are sometimes, a lot of times, you just simply won't have answers to things, just theories.
Yeah, that's
But that's what's great about it.
Because because it keeps you engaged in obviously the content because you're talking about and like discussing like what does this mean. So
And what you say could be different from what I say, but there's nothing saying that either of us are right or wrong.
mm-hmm.
If we had to like kind of like I'm gonna try and like make this like the wrap up point, but what I'm also now thinking of is like I don't ever personally get a sense of there being like like powerful beings in this world like that are ever present and controlling the tides of like or shifting the tides or changing the tides, whatever the saying is, of like the destinies of these characters. I feel like everyone is very like driven by by their goals, whatever those are. But like as far as there being like and like a god and like like other like gods as well or things like that or whatever the equivalent is, I forget the name off the top of my head. Like I'm wondering like if y'all have stuff to say about that, like because we know that they exist, they're just not really like seen on the screen as much.
Well, I know they got involved somewhat, like when Gandalf died, because he was not supposed to die when he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like-
they're the ones who allowed him to go back.
Like, what do you
Gandalf the
mean?
White.
Destiny.
They took Saruman's power away from him since he betrayed them and gave it to
And that's why
Gandalf.
he came back as Gandalf the White.
White.
And that's why the other one didn't come back.
Mhm.
'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
Yeah,
that was
Saruman the
another
Grey.
question. I'm like, so why was Gandalf able to come back but not Saruman? That was another question. But then, like, that kind of answers it.
Gandalf's the only Astari wizard out of the 5 to actually stay on mission.
And, yeah, he's committed. I mean, like, and that's very evident and clear in the movies as well. He's very consistent, even as Gandalf the White. Obviously, you can tell he's different in some aspects, but what stays the same is his commitment to the goal.
Well, we're not really sure what happened with the blue wizards, though, Alatar and Plundo.
Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing. Literally, I think there's less on them than Tom Bombadil.
They just disappear from the book.
They went east and
Yeah.
disappeared.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the Amazon show do something with them, maybe.
Yeah. No, I agree for sure. Yeah, totally. So yeah, let's see. Closing thoughts. Fellowship of the Ring. I love watching that movie. I feel like the sense of camaraderie between the Fellowship, like at least like in the like the first maybe like 3/4 of the movie, definitely makes me the most like convinced that there is like a sense of like friendship and camaraderie and compassion for everyone within the group. And going into like the next few movies that we're going to be talking about, or the next 2 I should say, when they're trying to reunite, I do feel like it's like that connection still drives them to reunite. But yeah, that's kind of why I like this movie a lot, because of like the characterizations and the relationship building. But yeah, closing thoughts from you, Zod?
I absolutely love Fellowship of the Ring, and I think that it's probably going to stand the test of time, as will the rest of the trilogy. I'm just hoping that the TV show can at least live up to it a little bit.
Totally. How about you, Jimbo?
I don't think I have anything else to really add besides what you just said. I totally agree. Totally agree. Everything you said.
I was thinking of changing your name on the StreamYard to Jimbo Baggins.
I will definitely. I'll definitely just remind me next time, and I'll definitely change it, because that's pretty good.
I think he'd be
Yeah.
more of a Took.
Oh,
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? That I am offended.
And we got Hanz, the Scarlet Ranger of the North. Yeah, closing
He's a
thoughts
took.
on Fellowship.
Fellowship of the Ring, great movie. One of my favorite movies I've ever watched, and I can watch it over and over again after watching the two after it.
I agree.
Mhm.
And our wonderful special guest, Hbartz, who I hope we can have on the show in the future.
No, it's actually Max Rebo. Get.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can't read. Sorry. I don't know. Like, I am. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Or you speak of.
But yeah, like any like closing thoughts on Fellowship, or you're excited about Rings of Power? Like, what do you want to see or talk about, or what are you excited for? Yeah, give us
Well,
those.
like for one with Fellowship, like this is probably like I'd say the first film memory I've ever had outside of like the original Spider-Man movie. Like Fellowship is one of my earliest film memories, so to me it has a special place for me. And for the Lord of the Rings TV show, I just hope it can capture what Peter Jackson did, but just further back in time and stay close to the lore and don't deviate.
Yeah, no, I do appreciate that y'all have been so like encouraging to talk about Rings of Power with, and just Lord of the Rings in general. Like, there's a lot to celebrate in these movies and in like the lore, and there's a lot to learn that I still have to do a lot of learning I still need to do too. So I do appreciate y'all being so willing to like share your knowledge with me and my audience. So yeah, no, this has been another great conversation, and I will definitely keep y'all posted for the next one for sure. Cool. On that note, I will go ahead and end the broadcast. This has been episode 18 of the Glimmer Cast. Thank you, everyone who stuck around through all those stream interrupted pop-ups. But thank you again for coming by. We're going to go ahead and play the outro music, and y'all take care. All right. Bye.